Welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Our dig team is currently excavating the Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games 2 CD collection. You can find a link in the video description containing the entire directory structure of this archive. It's week 56, and this is what our diggers have dug up for today. For more information on how to join the dig team, simply head on over to the Patreon page linked in the video description. Now without further ado, let's begin. First up, a new digger, Leandro Martinez, has dug up WINGAMES /unclassified/Logistic. So I'm thinking a game that might have something to do with logic puzzles or something, but it's in the unclassified directory, not the puzzle directory, so that has me a little confused as to what this might be. I'm going to text file. Logistic plots and lets you zoom into the bifurcation diagram of the logistic equation. Wait, so is this just I don't know if it's pronounced bifurcation or bifurcation, but if this is what I think it is, like bifurcation is like it's a particular algorithm that you often see in fractal stuff. Apparently made by someone called Guillermo Payet? I'm sorry, I'm terrible at names. You guys know that by now. Made in 1992. So yeah, this looks like it might just be a bifurcation thing. Go? Yeah, that is definitely the bifurcation algorithm. Okay, so I don't actually know a whole lot about this particular algorithm. Like, I've done some stuff with fractal work before, but usually the kind of fractals where you're plotting the number of iterations that it takes to escape from a particular equation. I don't know the official name. It's like an escape algorithm or something like that, but I'll put it up on the screen. But the bifurcation algorithm is a very different one because it starts off as like a single line and then sort of splits in two and then splits in two again and then starts splitting like crazy. And I've never really understood the dynamics of this equation. And it's kind of weird too, because like, I mean, if we actually like, I'm guessing like clicking like that, or how do I zoom in? Whoops, this is the quit button. That's the quit button, not the zoom button. Okay, so if I click and drag, it creates a sort of window, so then I just go. Okay, that seems to work. But yeah, what's interesting is it looks like one single line, but if we zoom in, we actually see that it's actually a lot of lines. So I've never really understood the dynamics of the bifurcation algorithm, but I'm sure it's important to some degree because this shows up in like everything fractal related. So I'm guessing step back. Okay, it goes to the previous zoom level. You can't step back again though, so restart. But I've never really understood the dynamics of it because when you start zooming into like the really pixelated areas, it still stays pretty pixelized. Although you can see some of the sort of waviness going on with these different lines, but it never really, Oops, that was step back. It's too easy to click the wrong thing sometimes. Like, I mean, no matter how far you zoom into the pixelized areas, it always seems to just not really... I guess it kind of makes a little sense. I don't know, I've never really understood this one that much. Like, I mean, it is technically a fractal because it's being generated by a computer algorithm, but I'm more accustomed to... Oh, it's escape time, I believe it's called. Escape time fractals. The idea being... I'll put one on the screen. Like, the most common escape time fractal is the Mandelbrot. And I'll put that one on the screen at the moment. The Mandelbrot, the way it's colorizing the image here is different colors are assigned to the number of iterations it takes for a particular value to escape from the equation that's being used to generate the image. So the equations run multiple times until a value is outside of a certain range. And that's how you get this Mandelbrot image. But with an algorithm like the bifurcation algorithm, it doesn't work that way, and I don't actually know the dynamics of how this works. Well, it does have some formula settings and stuff. Iterations and threshold. Let's try something like that, maybe? I don't know. Graph it? Okay, it looks pretty much the same, so I'm gonna guess it's just... Well, it actually looks kind of brighter, so I'm guessing that maybe it actually, like, has more lines going now or something. Oh, also image settings. It's in a window, so this is gonna... Oh, it actually calculated the correct size based on the limitations of the window. That's kind of neat. So yeah, I don't know too much about the bifurcation stuff, but this was a program done in 1992. I don't even know if Fractant was out by that point. So there wouldn't have been a lot of options for viewing this kind of algorithm back then. So to have a free one, accessible for Windows 3.1, that'd have been a neat thing. I don't know how practical it would have been, but it would have been neat for sure. Yeah, see, there's stuff going on here. I do not understand this algorithm. It's not one that I've really looked into heavily, although it does look like there's sort of patterns going on here. Yeah, I don't know enough about this. If this is something that you're interested in, then this would probably be a neat little program to check out, although it doesn't look to be too in-depth other than just plotting the diagram. But then, you know, for a free software, and this is something you're interested in, I guess that's well enough. Next up, Dick DeYoung decided to dig up WINGAMES /action /DALEKS. So I'm gonna guess something Doctor Who related, just based on the whole DALEKS name. I got an install file, that doesn't bode too well. I got some WAV files too, so it looks like we might have some sound effects. Yeah, there's a TARDIS.wave. VB Run 200 and VBSTR, definitely glad that it included its DLL files. What's the README say? Win Daleks by 9394 by S. Koren. Almost misread this as Korean. Alright, serve program is Shareware, read online help for registering. Well, what's the online help say? Yep, that is definitely a Dalek. 25 US dollars to register this. That is a lot, so this had better be a really good program. You play the mysterious doctor. Along with your faithful robot dog, K9, you travel through space and time in your trusty TARDIS, time and relative dimensions in space. The TARDIS, unfortunately, looks like an old-style British phone box. Unfortunately? Anybody who knows Doctor Who, can you tell me if the Doctor in it really doesn't like the fact that his TARDIS looks like an old-style British phone box? Anyways, its chameleon circuit is malfunctioning. You've materialized on Scleros, probably mispronouncing that, home of the dreaded Daleks, mostly machine, partly organic creatures whose philosophy can be summed up in one word. Which word? Seriously, not everybody has seen Doctor Who. Luckily, the Daleks aren't very mobile or smart. They tend to run into each other and blow up. Okay. You also have your trusty sonic screwdriver, which can put out a disrupting frequency which jams the Daleks within a certain radius. Wouldn't you use a screwdriver to, like, take things apart or something? Okay, what? Normally you could escape via your TARDIS, but the Time Lords, of which you are one, have put a force field around the planet? You can't escape, but you can shift short distances? What is up with this story? It sounds like it was made by, like, a 5-year-old or something. Anyways, let's actually try playing it. Okay, it's playing weird sound effects. So is it actually playing? Okay, so it doesn't do anything unless I actually push a key, so that's good to know. So I got a funny feeling they're gonna, like, kill me or something, so do I do the sonic screwdriver now, or...? I really don't get what's going on here. So do I just hit him again or something? I really don't get what's going... Okay, that won the level, apparently. Okay, so it seems like the purpose of the game is that you have 3 uses of the sonic screwdriver per level, and you have to take out all of the TARDISes in the process.
Exterminate!
And that is getting really freaking annoying. Can we turn the sound off? Yes, we can. Oh, there's a real-time mode? I dare think how fast that's going to go with the way this is set up. Man, that's so much better without the sound. Doctor was killed. Oh. Shouldn't it be? Oh, no. You get 1 life. You get 1 life. Definitely not the greatest arcade game in the world if you only get 1 life. Let's try that again. So yeah, I'm about to die. Can I move diagonally? I cannot move diagonally. Yeah, I don't quite get what the algorithm is like here, because sometimes they're crashing into each other and sometimes they're not. Okay, this time it supposedly started me with 5 Daleks, but I only see 4. It put 2 of them on top of each other. What kind of randomization nonsense is that? It can't even get your procedural generation working properly. So if I do the sonic screwdriver from here, will that actually... No. It'll definitely work from there, though. Okay, so it actually does just stun them, and then they have to run into each other to be destroyed. Is there a wait key? Can I actually, like... It doesn't look it. Okay, and those 2 at the back there ran into... What?! Instantly dead at the start of the level. I didn't touch anything. Okay, that just put this game into the not fun category. Okay, so little note about when you're making a game. First of all, reminder. This game is being charged $25 for a registered version. If you can't even get your procedural generation right, you do not deserve to charge $25 for your product. But at least now that I know what the rules are, I can at least try to see if I can win a game worth. So let's use the sonic screwdriver here. Then I'll knock those ones out. Okay, so the gameplay is pretty basic, but it is actually understandable to a degree as well. Yeah, see, right here, if I move anywhere, What? What just happened? I pushed right, and it put the Doctor partly off of the grid square, and... What? So if I use the sonic screwdriver now, does it... No? Okay, if you can't even get your grid squares working right, then you definitely have a problem. Okay, so that was Who Dalek. That was... Well, first of all, having the dogs constantly saying exterminate every time you take one step is kind of annoying. Like, I mean, I know that was their thing in the show, but in the show, you only show them doing that for a short period of time, not for an entire game worth of gameplay. Add to that the procedural generation that was stacking things. Add to that it can't properly detect the edge of the map because it made me go like off the grid square but still on the grid square. This game's got major issues, and the guy wanted $25. This, I can't recommend this one. And finally, Paul Scheer dug up WINGAMES /GG /Hamurabi. Oh god, I'm never going to be able to pronounce that. You know, something I've noticed. The first 2 games today, well, one of them wasn't technically a game, but the first 2 programs today were both programs that could maximize to the entire size of the screen. So that's not common for Windows 3.1 software, so let's see if we can go for a third one here. Where is it? Hamurabi. Jeez, I still can't pronounce it. Read me. Hamurabi of Babylon. Okay. Let's see here. In this program, you are the ruler of Babylon. You control land and bushels of grain. Okay, so it's going to be one of these sort of strategy types games. Also, my mouse is screwing up. Give me a second here. Joys of owning a laser mouse. So, you may trade grain for land, buy or sell, determine how much grain to distribute for food, determine how many acres are to be planted. The goal simply to live long and prosper. We got Star Trek references going up here. $5 would be appreciated, but doesn't seem to be a requirement. Made by Michael Kroger in Houston, Texas. Probably not there still. As you guys have noticed by now, a lot of these people who are just making indie software, all this shovelware stuff, they put their addresses in their programs, because how else were people going to give them money? They weren't like official corporations or anything. So, let's see here. Okay, it's got a maximize button, doesn't maximize properly. It doesn't, but it is affected by it. So, 2.5 of today maximized properly? I don't know. Okay, well, let's just leave it like this. Because it kind of looks a little weird. Help. One person needs 20 bushels for food. 10 people need 1 acre for shelter. One person can plant 10 acres. One planted acre uses 1 bushel of grain. Okay. So, it's basically like a number... like a number maintaining game or something? How many acres should we buy? Or we can sell them? How many bushels should we give as food? How many acres should we plant? I'll just leave them what they are. Castle has become barren and our lands bear less fruit. Work them harder. Oh, that went black. That doesn't bode well. In the year 2 of thy wonderful reign. I don't know, let's keep it going. Great fire hath swept mighty Babylon. 19 of thy people are dead, 33 of thy acres are burnt, 2,000 bushels lost. Okay, so it's just changing color based on time, maybe? Thou hast been poisoned by thine own imperial viceroy? Rule passeth to thy evil half-brother... What? And I just lost. Okay, so this game is something. It's a game. So basically it's just number management with random events thrown in. Like, let's just see what happens if we keep with the same... Rains have been most abundant. Thy armies have defeated the Assyrians? Like, do we even have armies? Because there's no army thing here. It's just acres and food and acres to plant. So the game basically plays itself, because it picks it already automatically fills in the numbers that would make the most sense for whatever the numbers up here is. So there doesn't seem to be any point to this other than looking at how the numbers generate as you go forwards. Oh, we actually have a choice here. Most generous and liberal Hamurabi, a wandering prophet hath entered Babylon, and requesteth the teeth of thy grain. Shall we grant the oracle's request? Most gladly. Okay, I don't know what that did for me, but yeah, I think I'm done with this. There's really... Like, there's a lot to this, because it's like a simulation of sorts, but there's not really much to do. It's automatically picking the best numbers, and then does all the math in the background, and then generates a random event, and affects it that way, and there you go. It's just rinse and repeat for tons and tons of turns. This isn't very engaging. Like, if the numbers were smaller, maybe iconized or something, and there was, like, more control over how things happened, like, if you could, like, tell the game, like, when to send armies out or something, like, here's the thing, is that there's a lot of games that have this sort of formula where you're sort of you're cultivating the land and building up armies and feeding the people and stuff. There's tons of games that work like on that format, but this one is like taking that and making it super basic by just having 3 things you can affect, and that's it. So, and it's affecting them automatically anyways, and it's using really big numbers as well. So, I don't know. I think in terms of this one, it's interesting, but it's not very engaging, so it's probably not something that would hold someone's attention for very long. If anything, it's making me want to go play the games that are similar to this, that are better, that have all the additional features and everything. And that was a lot of events for just one day.
Exterminate! Exterminate! Exterminate!
Hamurabi. I finally got it. It's Hamurabi. At least I hope it's Hamurabi.